What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. And as you see, I brought the belt back. Those of you who've been around with me since the beginning, you know I used to wear the belt on every single video. And I brought it back because it just feels so damn good right here where it belongs. And it takes away from my fatness, woo, which there is a lot of. Yeah. Anyway, so what's going on, everybody? I wanted to do another video today. We got a lot of stuff going on today. I am doing a top 5 video sometime today, and it will be on, I think you guys are going to be excited about this, my top 5 tag teams of all time. Yeah, I think that'll be a good one to go with this week. Top 5 tag teams of all time. Maybe not the greatest tag teams of all time, but my top 5 favorite. In my eyes, yeah, these 5 will be the greatest, in my opinion. So, there it is. But, this video, just watched NXT, the show NXT this week. I just watched it right now. I could have said that a lot more eloquently. What I meant to say was, I just watched this week's episode of NXT. There you go. And it's fantastic. It's really good. Again, man, God, they just come out swinging. And, they beat out Raw. I really enjoyed Raw, but NXT was better. Again, it's a better show. So I was like, let's do an NXT preview. So that's what we're doing. Hope you guys are ready. Strap in. Let's preview NXT, or review NXT from last night, the January 1st episode of NXT. So first thing I noticed, the announced team, I guess they've been doing this a while where they switch up the dynamic. Sometimes you're going to have Tensai and Corey Graves and then the Michael Cole reject. And other times you're going to have Alex Riley. He's in there quite often. And the person that I was most excited to see, Renee Young, because I believe she's the best commentator possibly on the entire roster right now. I think she's fantastic. I really enjoy listening to her. She was funny throughout the entire show. She had good interactions with Alex Riley. And I don't mind the fact that they make references to her being a woman. I love the fact that when they asked her about the 2 pretty boys in the ring, she said, I'm a-looking and I'm a-liking. She's very natural. She's quick-witted. She's very funny. I enjoy her a lot. I'd love to see her taking over for like King or something. They're not the same type of character because he's a retired legend or whatever, and she's not. But I think having her with Cole and JBL would not work because those 2 are so terrible. But I would like to see her on the main roster in some capacity, commentating during matches because she's very good. She's very, very good and made the entire show very enjoyable. And I think she's hot as hell too. So there's that. Show kicks off with Lucha Dragons and the 2 pretty boys, the aforementioned pretty boys, Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan. The word going around the back on those 2, Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan, is they have all the skills, but they're very vanilla. When they put it together, if they find the right gimmick for these guys or whatever, these guys could be something special. They're pretty damn good. They got a good look to them. I like them. Lucha Dragons, I don't know what you guys think of Lucha Dragons, but these 2 put me to fucking sleep. The match was perfectly fine. It was a good little match until the end when Sin Cara, and it seems like it doesn't matter who wears that mask, he's botch Cara, even Hunico, because there was a terrible looking botch at the end of it. And then it seems like they kind of went crazy on the sunset power bomb off the top rope to end it. Kind of trying to make up for it. But Sin Cara is just, even Hunico being Sin Cara, doesn't frickin' matter. It's just that character is dead. And the other little the Mexican jumping bean, Jesus. He's okay. But I don't know. It just doesn't do much for me. The match was perfectly fine. I'm not complaining about the overall quality of the match. I'm simply stating I'm just not a fan of Lucha Dragons. I hope the Vaudevillains take the belts from them pretty soon. And they came out after the match and beat them down anyway, and that was kind of cool. CJ Parker backstage with Bull Dempsey. talking about trying to maim Baron Corbin, which is fine. Bull Dempsey has a problem, and his problem is he cannot talk. And look, big guys, your Bray Wyatts, even back in the day, your Hugh Morris, Bill DeMott, all those guys, you could be big and get over, but you can't come out in the very traditional wrestling straps and be so goddamn block. Because what is Bull Dempsey's shtick? I mean, I get that him and Baron Corbin do the same thing as far as like wrecking people, but Baron Corbin does it so much better. Man, he really does. And I don't know. Bull Dempsey is just kind of weird looking to me, and he looks far too much like Bray Wyatt. I think that's a problem, too. They might have to change his look because he looks far too much like him. I like CJ Parker. I hope they find something to do with him because I actually really enjoy that guy. Probably my favorite talking point of the entire night, the entire show, was Enzo Amore and Big Cass introduce Carmella. And it's really, really cool because she's about to have a match. We don't know against who. But I love the Certified G's thing. I think they're hilarious. They remind me of the New Age Outlaws. They have this. People seem to chant along with them as they're talking. And that Big Cass is a big mammer jammer. Looks a lot like Test. But this guy can move. He's a big sucker. And I like Enzo. I do. Enzo, whatever fucking name is. I like this guy. He looks like Macklemore on PCP. He looks like Macklemore on PCP to me. But I like the gimmick. I like the shtick. It's very funny. Carmella she's all right. I don't really care about her too much. I feel she's replaceable. But the star of this entire segment is the phenomenon known as Blue Pants. Blue Pants is fantastic. And not only Blue Pants is she hot and she's very blue pantsy and everything, but the build up to it and Big Cass singing her theme song, The Price is Right, Come On Down thing. Oh my God, it's just too funny. The whole damn thing works. I like Blue Pants. I think this is hysterical. I think this entire gimmick can work on the WWE level if they let them go with what they're doing right now, because it's kind of missing these type of talkers, the goofball type of attitude. I think it's not completely Jersey Shore-ish. They got the Long Island East Coast thing going or whatever, but it's not so turned up, at least what I'm seeing recently, to where it's a complete ripoff of some of the things that TNA has done, and even Zack Ryder to some extent. I like these guys, and maybe even bring Zack Ryder into that group. That'd be kind of interesting. Maybe Zack Ryder can bring them in as like part of a new stable, but let these guys talk because they're hysterical. And Blue Pants, yeah, more Blue Pants. So they get the match. Blue Pants wins with a little roll up after Enzo distracts Carmella after she distracted him last week. So fair enough. But I like Enzo. He's just a goof. CJ Parker and Bear. Oh yeah, after the match, Carmella attacked him too. That was pretty cool. Attacked Enzo. CJ Parker and Baron Corbin. 33-second match. CJ Parker comes out with his signs. Whatever. It was that Eric Young type stuff. Baron Corbin destroys him with that end of days move, which I really, really like. And then he goes in and beats up Bull Dempsey. Okay. They beat the crap out of each other. They were just exchanging punches, which is cool. I'd like to see the match, but I kind of want Baron Corbin to get through with this, unless they're going to do something more with Dempsey and make him a little bit more of a. I can see him like an old Disciple of Apocalypse thing, like a biker, like a straight up like chains or something. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Something. He needs something. Because he's not good enough in the ring just to wear a standard twosie and just two-strapper and just be a wrestler. He's not that good. He's good, but he's not that good, and he has no personality. So, backstage segment, William Regal announces that Sami Zayn will return. By the way, they announced a lot of matches for next week that are looking like it's going to be a hell of a friggin' show. And they did it here specifically with Curtis Axel. He came out and interrupted Regal and says, I want to fight. I want to fight here on NXT. I want to rejuvenate my career. He's like, all right, Sunshine, you got Hideo Itami next week. No easy task. So they're booking a lot of great matches for next week. So that'll be really exciting. I'm excited to see that. Small note. There was no Kevin Owens on this show. Just a small segment with Renee. No Sami Zayn. No Adrian Neville. And yet it didn't really matter. The show was still fantastic. The show was still fantastic. That shows how deep NXT is. And it does help they're only an hour. So Charlotte comes out and shows once again why she is just fantastic on the mic. I mean, she's good on the mic too. She's a little, it seems like they miss some spots a little bit, but that's okay. Sasha Banks, as good as she is in the ring, should never talk. She should never talk. She's terrible. Very, very bad at talking, at least here. And her and her little Lynch buddy, what's her name? Sweet little good-looking chick she is there, her little Irish friend. Becky Lynch. God, I always forget her name. She's a hottie. Come down there about to beat the crap out of Charlotte, but Natalia's music hit, and out comes the Canadian gal. And she makes sure nothing goes down, and her and Charlotte embrace. It's kind of a cool thing to see two people of their legacy come together. I'd like to see them come together. So that's pretty cool. I'd like to see more of that. It just, how can Natalya be in the main event scene on the women's division in NXT and now in the main event scene in the Divas division? I don't think that works. I think it's kind of stupid. I don't really like that very much, but, whatever. Sami Zayn sends in a Christmas greeting type thing where he's distraught by Kevin Owens and blah, blah, blah. Didn't really care, but Sami Zayn will be on the show next week, so that'll be very interesting. I'm excited about that one. And finally, the main event, Hideo Itami and Finn Balor versus The Ascension. For those of you who still don't know, Hideo Itami is better known as Kenta, and Finn Balor is Finn Balor is better known as Prince Devitt. So you got two really awesome guys there, and The Ascension, once again, without their makeup and without their hyped up super gimmick that they're doing on Raw, which is fine. I like The Ascension either way, to be completely honest. Good matchup, once again. These guys, all four of them can go. It's real simple. The Ascension's a hell of a tag team. And it's unfortunate we're going to get squash match after squash match for a while, it seems like. At least for the first few weeks out of The Ascension. Because they showed, once again, on NXT this week, that when taken into the deeper waters with guys like Hideo Itami and Finn Balor, that they can go. And both of them, Victor and Connor, can both wrestle their asses off. And they do it in different ways. They're big guys. I think they do need to tone it up a little bit. I think their physique needs to get a little bit better. Because that seems to be a big talking point from a lot of people I read in the comments. A strike against the Ascension is just, especially Connor, he's just kind of, he needs to tighten it up. And maybe that's something that needs to happen. But I don't think it should be held against them too much. Because they're a great tag team. And, God, Finn Balor, he showed, once again, not only some fantastic moves and how amazingly gifted he is in the ring, but he showed that he could sell. He could take a friggin' beating, and he does. He gets beat up throughout this match pretty good, and Itami comes in. And you have to watch NXT just to see that, once again, the pop for the GTS, when he teases the GTS, because it's his move. Punk, you can talk about Punk whatever you want. Hideo Itami, this is Kenta's move. The GTS is his. And when he teases it, when he puts him up there and it looks like it's going to happen, the crowd goes fucking nuts. I would love to see him come out on a segment in Raw and tease the GTS there and hear the eruption. I think Hideo Itami and Finn Balor are both going to be huge stars at the next level. I don't see them being at NXT very long. It doesn't make sense to do so. They're both ready right now, but is what it is. Look, keep them down there at NXT if, Vince is just going to ruin them. So I have no problem with that. But at the same time, these guys are so goddamn good. They're so damn good. This roster is so deep at NXT. There's a lot, and maybe it's a little overblown because it's only an hour and they're able to, and it's pre-recorded and they're able to show their best sides or whatever. But it's funny when you look at when the WWE guys that are coming down to NXT to fight, mainly on this episode, it was only Sin Cara. They're the weak point. They're the weak points. They're the weak spots of the show. And so it really makes me wonder how wrong Vince might have been when he said what he said about just how the talent roster is not what it once was. And I have to agree with him. I'm thinking I have to agree with him. I don't think he was wrong at all. Because, geez, you can't be an established star on WWE programming and then come down to NXT and be the weak spot of the proving ground. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. And that's what's happening. There are so many guys at NXT that just look like they want it. They want it. And so many NXT guys that have come up recently over the last year and a half, 2 years, have proven that they can get the job done. I mean, you look at the guys that have already come up. The Wyatts, all doing good things right now, primarily. We don't know about Rowan, but hey. Shield, Rusev. These guys are all new dudes, and they're all performing. They're all big parts of the roster. So why won't that continue? You have to ask yourself. Well, it is. It's going to continue. It's just to what extent? I don't know. But at the very least, these guys could be the core of one of the strongest mid-cards we've had since the 90s, man. Since the late 90s. If you want to keep the main roster, the main fucking feuds going and the main scene, whatever, you want to keep your scene up there, that's fine. If we got a main roster that's coming in, a mid-card that's coming in and tearing it up like these guys can do, I'm okay with that. Because eventually, if they're there and they're kicking ass on the mid-card, eventually they're going to get their spot in the main event. There's no question about that. I've talked about it before, how I think this WrestleMania is one of the most important in history, because I feel it's a turning point for a lot of older guys. This could be one of the last times we see a lot of these guys. It's quite possible maybe at next year's Mania we get something with Stone Cold and The Rock, because I feel it'll, not together of course, but I feel it's going to be one of their last hurrahs, their last opportunities. But this year is another one of those times. This could be the end of Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. We don't know how much more Triple H is going to be going. Sting is going to have his one and only match. So there's a lot of guys that are going to be transitioning out. So spots are opening up, and who's going to take it? Who's going to step up? Well, there's a whole roster of kids down in NXT that are proving it weekly that they are ready. So what did you guys think of NXT this week? I, once again, thought it was the best wrestling program I've watched all week. Nothing even comes close to it. It's very, very good. It is what it is. These guys are doing it. So I would love to hear what you guys have to think. Make sure you're checking out all the other videos that are going up on the channel. Just did another unboxing video. Check out the interview I did with Jake Link, the comic extraordinaire, on Creator's Corner. That's up there. It's fantastic. It's funny. You will laugh your fucking balls off. I guarantee you laughs, because it's hysterical. It's very funny, and we had a lot of fun. And a little bit later on, I will be putting up yet another video. It'll be top 5 tag teams of all time. Until then, chill out, eat some rice, beans, fucking, I don't know why. That's what I'm eating right now, because I'm trying to not be so fat. So, have a tangerine. Yeah. Other than that, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you a little bit later on. Peace.